Hi guys, it's Ruth Nodim. It is so good to have you here again. And if you're a first timer, welcome. Please be kind to click the subscribe button, like this video, and please drop a comment. I will be so glad to engage with you in the comment section. Thank you. So, like you can already see, we're going to be talking about personal boundaries today, signs of people pleasing, and how to stop people pleasing. I'm sure that this is a topic that we have heard over and over and over again. People talk about boundaries. Everywhere you go, you see it on Google, you see it in articles, you see it on social media. You hear people say, "Oh, respect my boundaries." I'm sure you even use the word. You're like, "Okay, don't cross boundaries, don't do this." Hello. So we're here to talk about boundaries today, and we want to understand why we need boundaries, why we do not actually have boundaries. This is a very important conversation, and I cannot wait to have it with you. So, guys, let's do a quick check here because, as I said in one of my videos, a check and balance is always important. When you do certain things, it's always good to ask yourself, okay, am I doing the right thing? Do I have to redirect my path? Do I have to evaluate, re strategize? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? How do I do better? If you constantly see yourself asking about boundaries, if you're always asking people if you have boundaries or not, maybe you always catch yourself asking your friends, do you feel I crossed my boundary? Do you feel I'm overdoing this thing? Do you feel I overdid it? If you see yourself asking questions like this, if you see yourself put in uncomfortable situations because you're trying to help people, because you're trying to make them happy, you're trying to make them feel seen and heard and loved every single time, then this topic is for you. Go grab a seat, darling, because we have something to fix. From state laws to stop signs to school dress codes to appointment agreements, there are always rules and boundaries applied. But sadly, the one place that we never get to apply boundaries is when it comes to our personal lives, when it comes to how we entertain people, what they do to us, how they treat us. We never get to apply boundaries. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. So we are not going to talk about boundaries without knowing what I call the 001 of boundaries. Know thyself. You need to know yourself, yes, because for me, I feel like knowing yourself is the foundation of boundary. If you don't know yourself, then it's going to be very hard to be able to decipher what you like, what you don't like, what you can accept, what you cannot accept. And when I say know yourself, in all honesty, I feel like you cannot know yourself until you learn to spend time with yourself. You need to learn how to enjoy your company. You need to learn to be alone. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to always be with our friends and our families and have the jolly good time. It's good to go on them date nights, girls trips, girls this one, guys nights, guys this, football match, all of those nice stuff, family, Thanksgiving, everything that brings you together with people. It's a beautiful thing. Please don't get me mistaken. But it's very good to know that it's important for you as a person to niche out time to, create time to say, okay, fine, this is my me time. This is for me, myself, and I. And in that time, you get to enjoy your company. You take yourself out, you travel on your own, you go to places that you would naturally want to be with people. You go there on your own and you have a good time. Guess what? When you do all of this, you're like, okay, how does it concern boundaries? When you do all of this, it helps you understand yourself. When you spend time with yourself, you're able to know what you like. You're able to know what triggers you. You're able to know, okay, I don't like it when people talk to me like this. I'm not okay with someone saying that to me. I'm not okay with someone doing that to me. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. No, I'm not okay with that one. You're able to pick out things that you're fine with. you're able to pick out your triggers, you're able to pick out all of these things. It helps you understand yourself better. Like there's a better self-awareness of who you are. And that is the only time that you can actually create boundaries. That is the only time that you can say, okay, you know what? This is what I want. This is what I can tolerate. This is what I cannot tolerate. And it also helps you to learn to respect other people's boundaries because you know better, so you're going to do better. So I'm sure you're like, please, can you get into this people pleasing thing? Can you just feel already so I'll know if I fall under this category, if I'm a people pleaser or not. So here are a few signs to know if you're a people pleaser. If you love to please people even against your wish, if you always want to make people feel happy, loved, excited, comfortable, satisfied, even when it is not comfortable for you, if you always want to seem like the good person in quotes, these are signs, and these are signs that show that you are a people pleaser. Number one, you are overly empathetic. Now, empathy is very good. It's a very good thing to be an empathetic person. If you're not an empathetic person, I consider you a cold person, and that's a bad thing. It's very good to be empathetic, to feel what other people feel, have just have an idea of what people are feeling, what they are going through. But I'm a firm believer that too much of everything is bad. Yes, so being overly, highly empathetic is not a good thing. When I tell you for a fact, there are people that when somebody is going through something, they would go home, they would not eat, they would not sleep. Don't get me wrong. It's very good to be in tune with what people are going through. If people are mourning, you feel their pain. If people are celebrating, you feel their joy. Nonetheless, when other people's problems start affecting you and how you behave and how you act and how you go about your activities, then that is a problem. You need to look out for that. You need to seek help. You need to ask yourself a question. You need to do an evaluation and find help quick. The next thing to show that, or the next sign to show that you're a people pleaser, is that you have been manipulated or emotionally abused. And I'm not even going to talk about people that have been in toxic relationships because when things like this are being mentioned, people often see it as okay, a person that's been in a bad relationship and the person was abused or the person was manipulated. So yeah, that's a people pleaser. But beyond romantic relationships, even in platonic relationships, we have people that have had friends that are manipulative, people that they know that if I say this to her, she will do this for me. People that know what to say in Nigerian layman English, people that know your mumu button and they use it every time, even when they know that it is not comfortable for you. These are manipulative friends. These people have abused you emotionally. So if you've been in any of the two, romantic, platonic, you've had people around you that have abused you emotionally, then chances are you are a people pleaser and you need help, darling. The third sign is when you feel the responsibility to bend over, to bend backwards, to do things for people that is not very comfortable for you. Let me give you an example. You know that you've had a very busy week and you need to rest. I mean, it's the weekend. You know that this weekend you cannot afford to go anywhere. You just need to put your house in order, sleep, eat, sleep, repeat, just keep doing it just so that you feel rejuvenated for the next week. This is the plan you have. You made this plan with yourself. And then you go back home and then Anita has to do something. And in most cases, it's not even a life and death situation, it's just something that she can handle on her own. If you feel the constant need to always be available for Anita, even if it requires you leaving your bed, canceling your plans, you don't stick to your plans any longer just to go do that thing for Anita. You are a people pleaser. You always see yourself trying to bend backwards to make other people happy, bend backwards to make other people feel satisfied, so that you can be seen as a good person, so that you can be seen as a good friend. Then you are a people pleaser and you need help also, my darling. And now this brings me to the fourth sign of a people pleaser. If you grew up in a home where your worth was attached to your behavior, so you were literally trained to be a good boy or a good girl to be accepted, I'm sure you know this category of persons. You've probably met them before if you're not even one. But these people are people that were taught that you cannot be loved, you cannot get this except you behave in a particular way. So you constantly see them amongst their siblings trying to be the best, trying to, it's almost like a competition to them because they know that if I don't do this, mommy's not going to be happy, daddy's not going to be happy. Now, do not get me wrong, it's a very good thing for kids to want to make their parents happy. But that should be natural. That shouldn't be as that shouldn't come from a place of wanting to force it, from a place of trying to compete with your other siblings, from a place of trying to compete with other children just to look good to your parents. Your parents should love you naturally. Your family should love you naturally. Every other thing that you do, your performance at school, um, you being honest, you being, anything that you do, these are additives. These things add to the already existing love and acceptance that they have for you. So you see this category of persons grow up, and when they grow up, they are adults now. You see them constantly wanting to work for the love that they get to gain from other people. Because to them, it's weird. I mean, I have to do something to be loved. So they constantly want to prove to be good friends, to be good spouses, to be good to everybody that they get to meet. And they feel like they have to win your love and your acceptance, for you to see them in some kind of light. There's this constant need to want to prove, to please, to prove, to please, and it never ends. If you fall in this category, this is something to watch out for. Find ways, seek help, do something because this isn't good. The next one here is you fear rejection and crave validation to be socially accepted and make friends. People on this category, people on this table, people here, let me shatter this table. These are people that want to always be validated. You need to tell them, they need to do this. They will do anything you ask them to do just for you to tell them this. They will do anything you tell them to do, even when it is uncomfortable for them, just for you to, to post them, just for you to show them off. They would do anything just to be accepted. The fourth point and this one is kind of, they are kind of similar, even though that one, is based more on your background, your family, where you're from. This one is more inclined to your friends, your colleagues, the people that you meet, just socially, you seek the need for validation. If this is you, then you have some work to do. It means that you are a people pleaser. The last one is that you feel awkward. Now, this one is very funny, and I feel a lot of us actually experience this one. When you feel awkward, you feel awkward when you don't do things for people. You feel some kind of way, like people ask you, like, I don't feel so good. I don't understand it. Am I really a good friend? You cannot explain it, you cannot express it, but you don't feel so good about yourself. You don't feel proud when you don't please people. You feel off. If this is you, if this is you, then you are a people pleaser and you need help. These are the different signs of people pleasing, and you need to identify which one of these do you fall under, because if you don't, then you cannot actually get any help. You need to say, okay, this is this one is my own. Okay, I do number two, I do number one, I do number three, four, and five, or I do number one only. You need to pick which of these signs you exhibit or you have exhibited in the past. That is the only way you can check and balance. So now that we've been able to um, understand and bring out and put out the different signs of people pleasing, now let's look at how to stop people pleasing, or better still, let's look at how to curtail, how to contain this act of people pleasing, because I cannot tell you stop. Let me be very honest with you. Some persons might tell you, you can stop it. Yes, you can, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight. You're not just going to go to bed tonight and then when you wake up, oh my God, you're no longer a people pleaser. It doesn't work that way. It's something that you have to work on. It's something that you have to put in the effort. It's something that you can try. I always say to try. It's something that you can try, and if you try and try and try, you get better at it. So these are the few ways I have here that that me can stop people pleasing. Number one, stop predicting everyone's needs. Stop trying to guess what everybody needs. Just be comfortable in existing, and always remember that it's people's responsibility to communicate their needs and wants. If they want something, they will tell you. If they need something, they will tell you. If they have a problem with something, they will tell you. Don't always try to guess. Okay, do you think she wants this now? Do you think she wants this now? Do you think he would want this now? Because if you constantly put yourself in that box, you notice that over time, you're always in that box of wanting to always guess and get into people's head and want to know what's going on there, what they feel about you, what they think about you. Do not do that. It's not healthy. I would advise you, be comfortable in being you. Be comfortable in being a good person that you are. Be comfortable in working on yourself, working on traits that you feel that are not so good, to become better, to become a better friend, sibling, her daughter, spouse, colleague. Just be a good person. Exist and understand that if these people have something to tell you, they will tell you. If they need you, they will tell you. And if you can help them, you will help them, of course. So, guys, what is personal boundaries? Personal boundaries are the limits and the rules that we set for ourselves in the relationships that we have, be it platonic, any kind of relationship, romantic, any kind of relationship. A person that has a healthy personal boundary is a person that can say no comfortably without feeling bad, without feeling like, okay, what did I just do? Am I a bad person? Oh my God, what is she going to think? Is she going to feel okay with it? What do you think? Did I did I not? See, I know that you are guilty. You are guilty of this. I am guilty sometimes, and I feel like this is why we need topics like this, because it helps us to have like a self-evaluation. How do we balance our boundaries? How do we balance this thing called boundaries? So, guys, let's get into this topic real quick, because I feel like this is a topic that we are all in dire need of. You need it, I need it. Everybody needs to understand boundaries, because as often as we use this word, as much as it's like a key word in our vocabulary, it's not a word that we truly practice. We need to understand when we are not being given boundaries. We need to understand when our boundaries are being breached. We need to understand when we're not even giving the next person boundaries, because a lot of times we demand it, but we don't give it. So you're always like, oh, okay, don't cross my boundaries. You did this, you did that. But we don't even know that sometimes without knowing, we cross other people's boundaries. We get in the line, we do some things that we're not supposed to do. You know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. So you know what I'm talking about here. And that brings me to my very last point. Start by committing to one thing a week and do not compromise under any circumstance. What did I say? Do not compromise under any circumstance. Unless it's a life and death situation, something that if you're not there, oh my God, things are really going to go so bad, then that's an exception. Let me give you a very good example. You've had a very busy week, a very long day, and you need to rest. Your energy level is low. Or maybe you have a very busy day tomorrow and you need to rest so that you can give in your best the next day. And you've made up your mind that you're going to go to bed at 9 p.m. Darling, 9 p.m. is 9 p.m. Nobody should call you and say, "Oh, we need to be here, we need to be there," and you're jumping out of your bed and going anywhere. You need to learn to stick to plans. That's a way of pleasing yourself and not pleasing people. That's a way of putting yourself first. Don't be that person that anybody can just call you at any time. You're always available. People know that out of five persons, you are the one that will always be available. Come here, you're there. Go there, you're there. Are you available? Yes, I'm available. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We don't do that here. Be that person that people respect their time because of how much you prioritize your own time, your own needs, and yourself as a being. So I'm going to leave you with this. Nice people are sweet people. They are polite, they are kind, they are compassionate, they are every good thing that you can think of. The only difference is that they prioritize their needs because they understand that they cannot actually pour from an empty drum. So they constantly have to refuel, refill, recharge to be able to give out. They have to be better to be able to give out their best. Thank you so much for staying up until this point. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber, and drop a comment. Until next time, goodbye.